Yo, guys, welcome back to the Penalties Podcast. This is season 2, episode 2 of the Penalties Podcast. My name is Dia.
My name is Arnav.
My name is Mustafa.
And my name is Ahmed.
And this is the Penalties Podcast. First topic of discussion, we would like to talk about a topic that's been going around Premier League lately and has been affecting games, essentially. Ahmed, we're talking about how COVID has impacted the games, has postponed some of these matches. And what are your thoughts? How many games have been postponed? How has it impacted in general as a fan?
So far, there has been 20 games that have been cancelled. And it has been affecting not just the people, but the Premier League table itself, with confusion of how many games are going to go back to back and how hard it's going to be for the teams to play so much games at the end of the season or when they decide on when to play. It's going to be hard for the players to keep on playing again and again, and it's going to be quicker than usual because they are missing a lot of games. The most team that have been missing games is Burnley. They've missed around 6 games so far, and it's not good for them. Like, we can see that it's the hardest team so far. You got Aston Villa, Spurs, Everton, Leicester, and yeah, that's it. So it's a huge problem for the teams that games are getting cancelled for them. It's not going to be easy for them. And for the people that are watching, it's not fun. I'm not happy when I see news that games are getting cancelled because of COVID. I can say that for everyone. Like, people love watching football. People love when they see a lot of action happening, and when a game gets cancelled, it's not easy and it's not fun. It's not good news or anything.
Right. Also, another thing that impacts is, I guess, fantasy league, right? So, for those of you guys who, Mustafa, I see you're reacting to this. You have something to say? How has it impacted your fantasy league?
Like every week, I've been getting more and more angry every time I see a game gets cancelled. Like, I'll be waiting for the deadline, waiting like 20 minutes before the deadline to submit to my team. I'd submit my team happy, all my players are going to play their games. Next day I wake up, North London Derby cancelled. The next game, and then 2 hours later, not Wolves, Watford, Burnley game gets cancelled. Guess who's my captain? Dennis. I'm fuming. It happens every week, and the game has started to become a guessing game. I just start guessing which teams are going to play their games. Like before, I was fine because I was, for example, doing the team like way before the deadline. Okay, I hold my hands up. I'm now waiting 5 minutes before the deadline. There's still the same result.
I mean, especially don't pick any Burnley players. Yeah, that's the message.
That's my mom. That one captain. Our captain Dennis. I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, Arnav, do you also take part in fantasy league, and has that impacted you?
Right. I mean, honestly speaking, yeah. Unlike Mustafa, I calculated. I knew which games would get cancelled. I definitely didn't take any. But I mean, this week I did better than you. I did good this week.
Who has more points though? That's what I want.
Yeah. You do. Fair play. I joined late. Nice.
Okay. Do you think, Mustafa, Arnav, do you guys think that the players are getting affected whenever they get less time to play against other teams?
I mean, I don't think it might affect them right now, but give it a couple of weeks, and when these fixtures get their actual dates, that's when you will see the effect it has. Because, I mean, for example, Burnley, the amount of games they've missed, they'll have to cram them in such a short space. So that's when you see all these injuries start coming in and the fatigue trying to come in. So maybe at the moment, really not. These guys would be at home, relaxing, and maybe training as usual. But when the games, Premier League comes out and says the date for these games and the games are being played, that's when you'll see the players actually start getting it.
I agree, and I sort of disagree as well. Because the more games get cancelled, the further apart the games are that you're playing, the less match fit you are. So then when that first game comes in, then you won't be as sharp as you would have been had it been consistent. But then again, I mean, you can't, for example, like blame anything. COVID at the end of the day is not a light topic. Like if a football club has a COVID outbreak, you can't keep playing games. You have to postpone the games.
That
Mm.
is true.
So it's always health before, like, I guess, entertainment. So it's always health, number
Yeah.
one priority. So a game that wasn't postponed and was quite entertaining was the Leicester and Spurs game. Mustafa, do you have analysis on that game?
Oh, I have analysis for you. There's a lot happened in that game. It was a
Yeah.
very it was a very extremely entertaining game. I mean, in the first half, I feel like Leicester went 1-0 up, but I think it was unjustified, to be completely honest with you. Spurs were dominant in that first half. The fact that they weren't winning at least by 2 or 3-0 in that first half, I was surprised, to be honest. But and then when Leicester got the goal, it was kind of like a mistake at the back. Like this Leicester players just ran at the defense, and it's like they almost like didn't know what to do, which is kind of had like 5 defenders, and I think all of them were back as well, but they just didn't know how to clear the ball, and then they went 1-0 down, and then honestly, like a beautiful goal from Harry Kane. I feel like Harry Kane had an amazing game yesterday. He could have had a hat trick, maybe more yesterday. He was brilliant, and then I feel like when it came to halftime, I think it was like at least it was a draw for Spurs. Like it was the least they deserved. They deserved way more than like they could not have gone in losing after that first half performance. And then second half comes around and the same thing happens again. Leicester run at the Tottenham defense, even though most of them are back. Madison still manages to find a way through. And then when you think the game is all done, Reguilon gets subbed off for Steven Bergwijn at the 76th minute, and then in the 95th minute, this is a record, by the way. And the 94th and the 52nd minute, Leicester were winning the game. At the 96th or something minute, they're losing the game. That's the latest a team has come back from losing in the Premier League ever. That's a new record. The record that was before this one was the Aguero moment, and that just shows how rare that stuff is. That was about 7 years ago or something, maybe even more. And I don't know, but also one thing I need to applaud though, the Steven Bergwijn and Spurs' mentality. Like you can't like they were losing, and then once you score that goal, you expect the players to start celebrating. Oh, we'll take a draw. Like it was a tough game today, so game draw. They all ran. If you see Harry Kane and Steven Bergwijn start fighting for the ball to put it back into the kick after like when the ball was in the net. And then to be honest with you, what on earth is Yuri Tielemans thinking? What is he doing? Your team just conceded the goal. You got the goal. You get the ball from kickoff, and you just give it away so loosely. Like it was such it wasn't a good pass. They lose possession, and then one pass from Harry Kane splits up the entire defense, and then Bergwijn is the hero again.
Right. Who was your man of the match for that?
No matter what Harry Kane did before that, during the game, you cannot say anyone but Steven Bergwijn, to be honest. The guy he's been rumored to leave as well. He's not been having a very good season, and to come in off the bench with 2 goals in less than a minute, in 82 seconds, I think it was. You can't write it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Ahmed, I don't know, what are your thoughts on the game? Was this Spurs' new performance, their managers, tactics? Was Leicester just underperforming? What was it?
Well, it was a close game. It was a close game between Tottenham and Leicester. You can see by the position, 48% for Leicester and 51% for Tottenham. But you can see the difference, the mentality between both teams when, Leicester City is now ahead, but Tottenham is still not giving up and still trying to score and score. And you could see that by the end of the game, where it took them just 2 minutes just to score 2 last-minute goals, which then got Tottenham ahead of Leicester. And you can see that around 38% of Tottenham's shot were on target. So it was a close game and it was amazing.
Also, there's one thing I would like to say before Arnav says anything. I think Brendan Rodgers might go down as the biggest bottler in the history of the Premier League, to be honest.
I was exactly going to say that, so yeah. I was going to come to you.
You're not just talking about this season. Last season and the year before, how they have bottled top 4 every single season, like 2 seasons consecutively. They've bottled top 4 in extremely good positions. And then also, if you want to go back in like that long ago, when Liverpool seemed like they were about to win the Premier League, they still somehow managed to bottle it. And guess who was the manager? Brendan Rodgers. I don't know. I think he might be
This is what I'm
one of
gonna
the
ask you.
overhyped managers.
What happened at Leicester? You know, I mean, obviously, okay, we are talking about Brendan Rodgers slipping top four in 2 continuous years, but now we've come to a season where Leicester are 10th place in the Premier League right now. But this is a position that many of us haven't seen them in recent years. So I mean, what do you think has gone wrong for them? I mean, new manager maybe?
They've also been knocked out the Europa League into the Conference League as well.
Yeah.
And it's not been good for Brendan Rodgers this year. I don't know. He needs to turn something around quickly. I mean, maybe you can blame players being gone. I mean, Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi are both at the IFCON. Vardy has been injured. I don't know, maybe you can blame it on that. But I don't know. I think he needs to change something quick.
Yeah. Okay, we are talking also, we had the transfer window, we were talking about that as well. But as fans of your respective clubs, who are some signings that you're looking forward to? People that you would like to see in your club who would gel well and just really work as a team. So let's go around the room. Mustafa, why don't you start?
I don't know. I mean, for Man United, I think there's one area on the pitch that we need. Like I almost do not care who we get in that position. We just need to get a central defensive midfielder. That is a position which is a must for Man United. Like we will not be able to do anything with our season if we do not sign the CDM. And to be honest, it doesn't seem likely that we are gonna anyway. We're gonna have to keep going with 35-year-old Matic and CDM running around in the Premier League playing 90 minutes if we do not sign someone, or playing McTominay, God forbid. But we need, my opinion, is Zakaria's contract's ending this summer. I think there's talks about him for 5 million or something like that. I think that'd be a good signing, to be honest. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan. The only time I've watched him, he scored an own goal in the Euros. But I mean, he's better than McTominay at least.
Okay. Ahmed for Liverpool?
Man, I don't know, to be honest. Our team, I don't know. Like, it's not. The players are good in our teams. Like, there's
Are
still
you saying there's
improvement.
nothing lacking?
No, there is a lot
Come on, there's a
lacking.
lot
Our-
lacking,
our
man.
I'm gonna ask you a
defense-
question, Ahmed.
Our
I'm gonna ask you a
defense,
question.
when
I'm
when
gonna
we
ask you a
play-
question. Listen,
Wait, okay.
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the whole Salah contract situation? Obviously, you know, being Egyptian yourself, being a big Liverpool fan, and I think during this AFCON, we've heard Salah talk to the media about how the contract situation is in the owner's hand. He wants to stay. The fans knows he wants to stay. The fan wants him to stay. What are you like? How are you looking at it?
You see, like, it's hard for Liverpool. They got amazing players, and Mohamed Salah has been one of the top players so far, breaking records, helping Liverpool be at the top, scoring, assists, all that. You could see that from the beginning of the Premier League, where before the last game Liverpool played, he had the top assist and top goal scorer so far. And for Liverpool, that's something huge. They're still helping. Mohamed Salah is still helping them, and with the discussions that are happening with renewing the contract, and it's taking that long. Like, I don't know why they're not like agreeing with his contract, signing it, or at least trying to negotiate to keep him in Liverpool at least. Like,
I mean,
if
I
he
could give
still
the devil's
sticks-
advocate point of view, to be honest.
like
Because
he's
I can
turning
understand why.
he's turning 30 soon, and he's an expensive player. Like, we get it, but like, he's done so much for Liverpool that they can't just give up on him now.
No, yeah, I fully agree with you, Ahmed, and I don't think Liverpool should let him go. But I mean, looking from their owner's point of view, right? Like Klopp, for example, he would buy players like Jota, Mane, Salah, Firmino, players that no one knew, but they weren't superstars. They'll come into the club and they'll become superstars. And then you saw how that helped them. I think the owners of Liverpool are looking at the fact, like, if we give Salah, for example, I think he's asking for like 400k a week for, I think it's a 4 or 5 year contract, which will he'll play into his like mid-30s really. And even though Salah is a very good athlete and he'll be able to play a high level a long time, maybe because I've watched a lot about this, maybe they're looking at it at the fact like he'll be taking up a position on the front three for another 4 or 5 years that could be filled by an upcoming superstar. I don't know, like someone interesting, someone new, rather than keeping, like, even though nothing against Salah, I think he's one of the top 5 players in Premier League history. But maybe they're thinking about the fact that I don't know, maybe it's time for someone new.
Future wise, you
Okay.
mean? Yeah, I understand. Like, I 100% like I get you.
But I also would think it's going to be completely stupid if they let him go.
Yeah, that
Because
is
at
true.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
Liverpool are trying to win the Champions League every year, and Salah will definitely go to a Champions League club. Like he may
Like
not go
you,
in the Premier League, but
yeah,
he'll definitely go for a
you
Champions League.
could see the difference. You could see the difference when Salah and Mane left Liverpool to play in CAF. Like you could see, it was extremely hard for Liverpool to score at least one goal when Arsenal had a man down. Like the amount of
Yeah,
misses
but
they
that wasn't
got.
because your attackers were bad. That was because Arsenal went a man down and they defended all game. Nothing. I'm not saying anything is bad about it, but I'm saying that when teams go down, they stayed tight. They did not attack, so they didn't leave
I
any
know,
spaces
but
for anyone.
for example, Minamino's miss against just a goal with no goalkeeper. That miss is just
Yeah, but that's just unlucky, isn't it? Like you can't really say like, oh, that's because Salah and Mane are in the AFCON. Like that's just
no,
unlucky.
but
It's a very bad miss. Don't get me wrong, but
you
But
could.
okay, so I think from that we understand the importance that Salah has to Liverpool, right? And obviously the contract situation isn't. We don't know which way it's gonna go, but fans are saying one way and the owners. Lastly, Arnav, what are your signing targets?
I mean, I think Mustafa also summed it up. You know, we need a CDM. You know, we really need a midfield option. But I'm gonna go for another position. I think we we really need to sell some players. You know, I think we have a good chance of offloading some of the players. And I think one of the biggest players we need to sell and get a replacement is in the centre back position. We need to go and sell Harry Maguire, and we need to try and get some good defender in. And
that
I
will
think that
never
should
happen.
be the
You're being
second.
too ambitious, though.
I
We
mean,
know
I'm
that
trying to
won't happen.
hope all I
He's the
can.
club captain.
That
As
won't
much as I
happen,
hate
but
him, I don't know what I'm saying, but he's
we
the
need
club
a
captain. There's no
defender.
way they're selling.
I mean, is he? He's been dropped for 2 games now. You're
Okay,
like,
but
Bruno has
okay,
been
who
captain.
would buy him anyway? Who would buy him? No one in the right mind would buy him.
But obviously, you're not gonna get the money you paid for it. You ain't gonna get anywhere close to that 80 million mark. And I
You'd be
think
lucky
the
to get
best chance
20,
of you would be. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could try and get 20. You could sell him to, I don't know. We just need to find our Bournemouth, just like Liverpool have theirs. We just need to find one of those clubs.
Okay.
Man, for like you were just talking, and it just reminded me, Milner, man, cannot, man. I need someone to help me out with Milner here. Like he just needs to retire out, to be honest. Change out.
Oh.
Need someone. He's no man. The amount of mistakes he's done so far this season. My guy almost conceded so many goals with his mistakes, passing it to the other
You know something
teams.
about having squad players, right? He's a good player to have around the squad. He's a good leader.
Yeah, he's a good leader.
Yeah, how do you replace a player like Milner?
You
you don't
can't
play
replace
a player like
like,
Milner.
but at the same time, Milner is getting old. He's not a midfielder like he used to be. He's still making lousy, huge mistakes. You can't say no. Like the amount of like possession we lost because of some stupid passes or some skills he tried to do and messed up. You know, like he's great around players, but him playing is just messing around. Not him messing around, but like it's hard to control it.
Also, I'll speak as if I was a Chelsea fan, right? I really want Chelsea to sign Ousmane Dembele because I feel like they need an attacker, and Ousmane Dembele is being announced by Barcelona today that he's no longer like staying in the club. So I think that should be a signing they should go for because they're really struggling in attack. Dembele is a two-footed player. He has worked under Thomas Tuchel before at Borussia Dortmund, where he impressed the world. So I think that should.
Do you
That'd be
think
interesting.
Liverpool's planning on letting go Salah and going for him? No?
There's no way.
No.
That's not a good sign. I don't think he'd fit Liverpool's system, to be honest.
No, I don't.
But at the same time, his skills would improve even more with Liverpool.
Yeah. Perhaps, yeah. Moving on to the next and our final segment, let's talk about predictions for the game week. Arnav, which are the games that we'll be predicting?
Right. So for this game week, the first game we'll be predicting is Manchester United versus West Ham happening at Old Trafford. I'm gonna go for an optimistic score like I always do. I'm gonna have confidence that we're gonna carry on this momentum from the game, and I think 3-1. I think 3-1 we should beat them.
Okay. Ahmed?
I think 2-0 for Man United. I hope.
You
You
hope.
hope.
Alright.
I hope.
Alright.
I like a
Mustafa?
1-0. Like I'm expecting a 1-0 for Man United, but you guys have this thing with not getting clean sheets.
It's true. We
Clean
can't keep
sheets.
clean sheets
Yeah.
in Ramadan. That's true. Now, honestly, I feel optimistic because the past two results that we've shown like very good signs. Like that first half against Aston Villa, and yesterday the second half in Brentford. I don't know. I'm feeling optimistic. There's a good vibe around the team right now. I'll go 2-1.
Yeah. 2-1. It's not gonna be a clean sheet, unfortunately, but we'll get that win end of the day.
Yeah, we never keep clean sheets. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next game we'll be looking at is Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, happening at Palace's Stadium. I mean, Liverpool always have a thing against Crystal Palace. You know, it's always like Liverpool's 3 points, easy 3 points for them. I'm gonna go for 3-0 win for them. Obviously, if you had your Salah and Mane, I would go for higher scores. But obviously,
No, yeah.
you don't have them, so
Yeah, we
that's why I'm
don't.
gonna go for 3-0.
Ooh.
I would have gone for 5-0, but I mean, you don't have him, so.
No, if we had Salah, it would be 6-0, but we don't. So I'm gonna go with 2-1.
2-1. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Mustafa?
2-0.
I don't know. You guys are sleeping
2-0,
on
change.
Crystal Palace. You're talking about Roy Hudson's
2-0.
Palace. That was the 7-0 and stuff. I know. I'm gonna go for a shock. I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1?
Okay, sure.
I'll go for a
Okay.
shock. Why not?
Okay.
Okay. I think Liverpool got this 2-0.
I'm just come back. Yeah. Mustafa says he's going for a shock. Last time we did it in the City Chelsea game, and that didn't end up well for him. So
It's not all Chelsea can play. We got to be 100% to pass the
I
ball
mean,
to
I'm just
anything.
saying, yeah. Anyway, talk about Chelsea. Next game is Chelsea versus Spurs. We have a London derby happening. This time at Stamford Bridge.
It's gonna
Obviously,
get cancelled, man. It's gonna get cancelled.
I'm actually. There's a high chance it might. So, but I'm gonna go for a very bold score. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I'm gonna do Mustafa here. I'm saying 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Did I go? By the way, I wanted to say this before, but I forgot. Conte has, like, in his 9 games in the Premier League, he's won 7 and drew 2, I think, or won 6 and drew 3 or something like that. He's still unbeaten in the Premier League, and I think that one will keep going. It will be a narrow 1-0 win to Spurs.
Nah,
To Spurs.
I think it's gonna be a 2-0 for Chelsea. Chelsea, we all agreed. Chelsea, like Spurs, have been amazing their past few games. Like you could see it, but at the same time, Chelsea depends if Lukaku is gonna put effort.
He
into
shouldn't
the
start
team.
that game, by the way. He shouldn't start.
He's a big problem for Chelsea right now, but I think they're still gonna win.
Yeah. I'm saying 2-1 Chelsea.
No faith in Conte.
No.
None of you have faith in Conte.
Mustafa, what did you say again? What was the score you said again?
1-0 to Spurs.
Oh, okay. Again, going against for everyone. That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm gonna look
last
like a
game-
genius right now.
Right. Last game of this game week is going to be Everton versus Aston Villa, happening at Goodison Park. I mean, obviously, I talked a lot about Aston Villa. Not going to do good, but obviously they showed me otherwise, and I think I'm going to back them this time. I'm saying 3-1 Aston Villa.
Okay.
3-1.
Ahmed?
After Everton losing, wait, they tied 2-2, yeah? Their last game.
No, they lost.
They lost 2-0,
No,
yeah?
they lost
They lost 2-1, yeah?
2
Well,
Norwich, I think.
Everton,
Yeah.
that game was...
How you missed the Norwich?
How, man? It's the biggest mistake any team can do.
What's your
think it's
prediction,
just-
bro?
What's your prediction?
3-0
Come
for
on.
3-0 for Everton.
What?
What? Hold
Yo.
on. What?
No. Wait, my bad.
Man, goes-
3-0 Aston Villa.
3-0.
3-2 Aston.
Now we take the
Aston-
first one.
3-0
We take the
Aston
first
Villa.
one. We take the first one.
3 for Villa. 3 for Villa.
I
Okay.
guess that's something we leave the viewers to decide on, whether they want to give you 3-0 Villa.
Nah. 3-0 Villa.
I mean, I'm not really happy at Villa right now, so I'm just gonna. No need for any explanation. Just 2-1 Aston.
Everyone.
I'm not gonna say it.
I'll go 2-0 Aston.
Respectable.
Right, that's all.
You know, actually, no. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go for a draw. You know, Big Duncan Ferguson is back. He's back as the
What?
interim
Bro.
coach.
Oh,
Here we
no.
go with the
Hold
first
on.
or second.
Man, you go with the
We go for the
worst
first
games.
one.
You go
It's
with
gonna be 1-1.
draws and the worst and easiest win for the other team. I don't get it.
It's
Man
1-1.
City
1-1.
against
You'll see.
Chelsea.
You'll see. I'm a psychic, bro. Watch.
Yeah.
So
1-1.
Mustafa,
I
out of
can
the 8
only-
games, out of the 8 games we predicted in this video and last video, there've been 4 1-1. Something you want to tell us?
You'll
I
see,
mean-
bro. You'll see.
Yeah? Let's see.
Did they end with
Well,
1-1?
okay. How many?
How many ended with 1-1s? Oh no.
None of them.
No. The United game ended 2-2 though. United game
Yeah,
ended
2-2, not 1-1. There's a difference.
2-2,
Yeah,
not
okay,
1-1.
but you mean
bro.
it's draw.
Yeah, you get the point,
It's
but
a
you
draw.
don't get
I guess the draw. I got the draw.
You get.
Bro, I'm a
okay.
genius, bro. Just allow. Let me do my thing, bro.
No, what a genius is me predicting a 5-0 win to Liverpool against Man
We're not
United.
still talking about the past, man. We're talking about now, man. God
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
Talking
Right,
about past.
right.
No, that was
Let's
He
calm it
analyzes
down
the
now.
games, obviously.
Let's calm it down now.
Okay. Well, so with that, we're done with our discussions, we're done with our predictions, and that's it for the video. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify, Anchor. Make sure you tune in to our YouTube channel. Put the notification bell on for that, and yeah, we'll see you next time. This has been the 10 Podcast signing off. Goodbye.
So.